Woo! Woo, 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 woo! What's up, ladies and gentlemen? It's the officer of the goddamn law, Charles Faulkner Jr., Officer Panthro, Black Dynamite, Black Superman, whatever you call me, at least call me. Woo! Gonna get a few of these people coming up in here. Woo! How y'all doing? Announce yourself while you're here. Announce, announce, announce. Hopefully everybody's having a good time. How y'all doing today? What it do? What it do? What it do? What it do? Woo! DJ Moss. What's up? What's up? What's up? Gonna get a couple people up in here. Dave-O. How the hell you pronounce that? Uh, Dave Teo. What's up? We're about to get to some nitty gritty. I'm gonna do a new series. Oh, the men and women equal. Lord help me, Jesus. This is gonna be one of them touchy subjects, and I love it. Dave Teo. Hey, I like that. The Black Superman. Get a few more people up in this joint. How y'all doing today, folks? Where's Jay? See, we're getting some people up in here now. Some ladies and some gentlemen. I love it. I love it. I love it. Woo! See over here, people accuse us of being not correct, non-research. Anecdotal, if we King Wage, what's up? Waiting up for my boy Chaos to come up in here. I tell you, so many people up in here, up in arms. I'm gonna have some male feminists, some female haters go like this. I'll get you for this, Charles Faulkner. And my reaction to this is, you don't get that bullshit out of here. See, it was brought to my attention on a certain person's podcast by my chief engineer that someone was stating that Men and women are equal. As a matter of fact, women get better with age and men don't. And my chief engineer made this statement to me about this certain person. And I kindly told him, if you could forward my channel and tell them to hit my email or his email, and they can be invited to tonight or anytime this week on my channel, and we could talk about it like Stephen L. Miles. See, contrary to popular belief, I am not a curmudgeon. I am neither surly nor am I ill-tempered. But I just want you to back everything up with some facts. I want that person to come. I want somebody to come in and please tell me that I'm a sexist when I read to them with medical doctors and military officers and people with any creator given sense. I really pray. Yeah, that's exactly what I said, King Wage. When I heard it. And you know me, I'm good for a nice intellectual, statement or another. Got to rise out the ashes, got to teach them a little something, something. Woo! Cully Jane, what's up, girl? What's up? Long time no see. How you doing? See, I like ladies like her. You know why? Because she's intellectually sound. She doesn't have to be the smartest person in the room. And 9 out of 10, she probably is, but she's not a jerk about it. You don't have to be. I'm here just to teach the masses, man. I'm here to give everybody some pointers in life. Something that, they can strive and actually obtain. That's what I want to know. Where's Maria? To let you and the esteemed lady, Kelly Jane, and all the fellas here let you know something. I can't wait till Chaos get up here. Hoping he was here to fill me in a little bit more. But this lady was saying that it's men's fault because the babies are coming out, mentally handicapped. When men pretty much don't have a expiration date on their semen and their sperm. There he is. There's the chaotic one.
What's good, man? What's good? What's good, everybody? How y'all doing, man? What's good? What's good? This is gonna be a very interesting night. We got some articles. I'm not sure, Mr. Fulton, if you got a chance to look at it.
Do you know how many articles I've read through? See, this is a whole series. See, I like doing a whole series because now I get to break shit down, okay? Mm-hmm. If you're gonna say something remotely intellectual, at least back the shit up.
At least,
At least, please. Yeah. Please.
Put some thought into it.
I have so many articles. I have so many articles that. Where's Maria? Where's that lady called me sexist? Come on now.
No, she's not coming up. Don't worry about
it. Oh, I wish she would. Do we need an intermission or do we need to go straight into this motherfucker?
No, we could probably play some music.
We're going to take a little intermission. Do me a favor, folks. Please like, share, subscribe. Donate if you feel inclined. Tell your friends if they want to learn something tonight because we're going to be pretty damn intellectual tonight.
Yep, it's been a while,
It's been a while.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, we're going to be very intellectual.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yes. Do me one good favor. Hit that little smooth soul/jazz for me. Woo!
Yes. Hold on. Let me just pull up my system. Give me a second.
A little smooth.
Yeah, I see Kylie James. So as I tried to find the music, let me just make sure I put it in my drives. Come on to open up this turntable, possibly. All right, let me see. Do I have it here? Let's look. I guess I did not create it. So this is what I'll have to do. I have to go on my Facebook and find it. Let me see. Where is it? I'm trying to think.
We got this beautiful LFD.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Woo! Smoking good tonight.
Yeah. All right, people make on my page. Shit. Let me see.
Can't wait till some more viewers come up. Woo!
Okay. Okay. Now I'm on my page. Let me scroll up, see if I can find the same music.
Hell yeah.
Okay. Found it. Let's enjoy, people.
Woo! Tell me that doesn't make you say woo when that song goes
I know
on,
everybody
boy.
makes
Make you want to get out the
it
fire.
makes you feel good when they hear that music, man. That beat, man. That smooth.
That's smooth,
Yeah.
smooth soul, smooth
Mhm.
jazz. Woo! Please fill in what you told me earlier, Chief Engineer, about this content creator. What's that person's name?
You know, I was thinking the video is up, and I could probably play the audio instead of share the video. People recognize the voices instead.
Hmm.
Will people prefer that?
Because we have plenty. Oh, we could do that as well. Because we also even have a Marine captain who also states there are physiological differences between men and women. So we're going to go through a whole series this week stating are men and women equal.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to go through the body, the mind, and hell, even the soul if necessary.
Mm-hmm.
Woo! So, if you have the video
Um,
and would like to share it with the folks,
I mean, we could probably listen for ourselves, and then we'll move on from there. Let me scroll down. Let me find the actual track before you share. If you want to share it, not you could probably just leave the audio as is. So I'm gonna mute myself 1 second, people. And as I mute, make sure you like,
okay, cool.
comment, and subscribe. As always.
Always. See, good audience in the chat room. How y'all doing? Good morning. Good super hell of an evening. I was touched by this because for the last couple of channels and personal conversations that I've been involved, there's too much of this lie that we tell ourselves, which is called equality. Well, men and women are equal. We could do the same things. Or can we? Or we just indoctrinated to believe that shit. George Fraser? Woo! See, nobody wants to admit what we always know, but we always fight against. There is no such thing as true equality. There are roles that women and men have that are different, both equally as important, but different. Just like when Maria, if that was her real name, if she was a she, when she accused me of being sexist, which I don't care. If you feel as though that you could tell a combat vet what he doesn't understand, comprehend, or his past combat experiences, then be my guest and tell me what the fuck I don't know, please.
All right, Charles. I passed through it. Now, you want to share the screen on this one to see what what I'm about to play? Oh, yeah. Hold on.
Everybody coming in, please like, share, subscribe if you're not. I'm just hoping, to teach some, preach some. So I was saying this, and when I made the comment of women shouldn't be in combat, I was accused of being, my A1 Day 1 subscribers know this shit. And what happened was you had this feminist come up on here and she accused me of not understanding what I just said. And I said what I said and I stood by it. There's even female officers who work with me who say women shouldn't be in direct combat. She said it's hard enough being a female officer in the streets of Baltimore when you're giving up such physical advantages such as upper body strength and speed. But I'm like reading Rainbow. Don't take my word for it.
Reading Rainbow. Reading Rainbow.
Oh man, we should play that one day. Just for the intro. See, a lot of people, King Wade said, and I quote, "I don't condone violence on a girl, but if I slapped a female across her face versus she slapping me, she would go down for court. There's no comparison. Just an example." See, here's the craziest part. We look at this comparison as an equal, as you should be able to take it. And that's why so many men are victims of domestic violence and don't even know it. Because of that example right there. When we're taught, at least not in my family, I was taught if somebody put their hands on you, make sure they don't do it again. I was always taught, keep your hands to your damn self. You live a lot longer. But why aren't the girls given the same lessons?
It makes.
Don't hit her. You better not hit her. You better not hit her back. But then you wonder why she's so emboldened to hit men. But once again, if we had a draft and if you really had equality, should that mean women should be drafted as well?
Listen, a lot of women will run to the hills. They'll get pregnant in a second, bro. Just to avoid warfare.
They're
not even the ones that you went in the military, bro. You tell stories like most people that serve in the armed force that you find women.
Do women have the?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
You find certain women know they have to go out on the battlefield, and you find the quickest dick possible. Most of somebody that's in the field to get fucked, knocked up, just to avoid combat. And that's not a fucking lie.
I remember.
So,
and it has happened several times. Chicks became pregnant all of a sudden when we about to deploy. Chicks became pregnant. Let's even go further, man. Just look at the PT test. I have to run faster than a female taking her PT test to max my scores out. There's even studies where the top 10% of females are matching the bottom 40 of males. Your top 10, your elite of the elite is matching our bottom 40. I even have articles that I printed out where this lady, another, tried to say that men can't keep having healthy babies, but women can have babies longer.
No, and they can have.
I beg the fucking difference.
It's a better chance the older they get, they can have children. So the older is better to have children, and you're late,
which is
30s,
which is scientifically backwards. When a woman reaches her reproductive prime between the ages of 15 to about 27, 28 if you're lucky, 30 if you're exceptional. But even then, at 30, you've used up pretty much about 80 to 90% of your eggs. Compared to men, this is written by Meredith Walls, MS. Okay, somebody got some letters behind their name because people don't believe you unless you have a couple of degrees. The average, a study found in 2017, the father of a newborn in 2015 was about 30.9 years compared to 27.4 years in 1972.
Mm-hmm.
Compared to women, the average is now about what? 30 to 30.4.
Mm-hmm.
Women aged what? Comparably to 25 to 29.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm pretty much right in the ballpark. But here's the optimal time to have a baby. That's bullshit. It's always going to be in your 20s,
especially if you're 22,
which is the best time.
at most, at least. We don't expect 20-year-olds to have children on the average, but usually if you're 22, usually those are the years that they're supposed to be out of college, finish college on the average, 22. So that'd be the good time, especially if you get married around as you walk out of college. When most other groups of people, which a lot of black people don't want to compare themselves, I get it, I understand. But most who that are different from us, especially the women of their groups, don't think like that. They know their shot of getting a decent provider and living a fair life. They get it right there and there. Some in college or some after college was maybe a little older. It's one or the other. But most of them, they get them young. They get them the same age as them or like a few years older. It's one or the other. They don't wait. See, that's why when we talk about the Tommy Lauren effect last week, if people are aware how all consequences are going in on her, because this woman feels entitled and she's at that stage where she's in the danger zone, where she just turned 28 this month. And how she blew it with one dude because dude didn't want to go through going into politics. She felt, okay, this dude messed up. Let me go find that dude. And then Noah said the dating market is just as intense more than ever. You see, probably a lot of women nowadays that get educated, don't think they're smart. They wasted time is get that degree. But all the other aspects of trying to get just a mate goes down the toilet. The more they get this so-called education, or I like called training.
Well, you got to realize, Chaos. Studies have shown the higher a woman goes in education, the least likely she's going to be married.
Mm-hmm. I thought someone would do it.
Where it's the complete opposite for men.
And I'm not really. And I don't want to cut you off, bro. Why not women? A lot of women and a lot of outlets, social media, YouTube, not talking about this. I'll wait.
Because I'll tell you the reason why. Because their mamas, grandmothers, and the school system indoctrinated them into this false sense of independence and not needing a man.
Mm-hmm.
As the old adage goes, think like a man and your ass will be without one. Think about this. Here's according to the American Society of Reproductive Medicine, females experience a slight reduction in fertility in their early 30s. And they found out it's even lower. It's actually even lower than what they found out. And this will decrease significantly between the ages of 35 and 45.
Now, bro, mind you,
wow.
I Googled a few articles. Some I have read, some I just scanned to see if anything was different from the information. And they did not say anything about saying that, you high hands and there will be no complications as you get older as a woman in regards to getting conceive. They don't tell you none of that. And I'm not sure how old these articles are. Some might be a year old, 2 years old. But how come when I do a search, it doesn't pop up as new study?
Oh, this article is from February 2020. So it's pretty fucking recent. And let me get even more in depth with this. A healthy 30-year-old has a 20% chance of pregnancy each month.
Mm-hmm.
A healthy 30-year-old
Yep.
has a 20% chance of pregnancy each month. If you haven't heard it again, a healthy 30-year-old has about a 20% chance of pregnancy each
Mm-hmm.
month. By the age of 40, that figure reduces down to less than 5% each cycle.
Yeah. So it makes
So,
it makes you wonder in regards to men, and they did say something about the men, but it never said that your child's gonna be dumb with a man that's older knocking up a woman that's not 30. You get me? And here's the
oh
twist of
yeah,
all this. They said on the average, mostly a man has to be concerned anything about serious fertility, if we want to call it serious fertility, is when he's in his 70s. Now, last time I checked, I have family members, you probably have family members. I know of one of my relatives, he went and not only he was married, but he went on and moved on and found a younger woman, particularly one was in her early 30s, and he knocked her up, and he was roughly in his late 60s. And the child came out pretty fine. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not sure where yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. I'm not gonna.
And hold up. Here's what the article says. Men do not have such a time clock. Ooh.
Yeah. And mind you, we're not saying that's just to brag, but we all know how nature really works. That a man's life is uncertain environment. So like this Y chromosome is designed not just, to impose violence, but to impregnate the female population. And the older man gets, he can still able to do it. That's why you only take one man and a bunch of 50 more women. And as he gets older and among them he impregnates, he's still able to produce. You get me? Oh, speak up. You might get. Yeah. Oh, okay. Sorry. Okay, I see this in the background. Sorry.
Yeah, it's older. There's even, you got to think about it, right? Let's go by biological reasonings. Okay. There is no set age limit related to men and fertility, though sperm quality declines slightly as men age. Yeah. By the time a male is 60, the reduction in numbers and quality of sperm might be more difficult to receive. But guess what? Even the article says healthy men in their 60s and 70s are still able to produce healthy children.
Exactly. So what is
think about that?
So what is the determining factor? It's the womb of a woman. It's the pinnacle. The younger, the healthier, the better. So if you're in your 30s and you keep healthy, no one say you can't have kids as a woman. But as you get older, you put yourself at a more greater risk. If you want just to produce a baby or the quality of baby. You get me? But isn't it funny how most women, even the woman that I have right now up on the video, when she's ready to play it or pull up, can I have it with me right now? That they will talk this. And I was sitting to listen, and maybe if I find the actual article, it'll make more better sense. But it'll take much research, bro, to Google just see if that article popped up in the recommendations of Google. And
I like to tell everybody when doing research, Google is your friend. I mean, just get about 10. Here's a little tip for some of my younger or college students. Go online, look at the bibliography of everything. Big words. We do big words over here. The bibliography.
Mm-hmm.
Get about 10 good articles that you could get from reliable sources. If they're saying the same thing, you're pretty dead on. The reason why they don't want to believe this is because when does a criminal want to admit to their crime? When does somebody want to admit that I kicked the bucket when it came to reproduction? I'm supposed to be happy with playing stepdaddy when the local yahoos, played in the Royal Rumble, which was called your womb, kicked everybody out and used your good years of reproduction with you. What am I supposed to do? But I'm supposed to take care of you and your kids and have your ass to kiss. No. We're going to get back there. See, men, they don't want to admit that men are like a fine wine. They're like a fine tequila, as my boy, King Wade says, like a fine cognac. We just get better with age. See, I was worrying when I started getting a little bit of gray hair in my beard, had to shave my head. Oh, excuse me. Had to sneeze. But the one thing I found out is that there's even more women who are attracted because you're a little seasoned, you're a little wiser, stronger. All you got to do is get your ass in a gym. All you have to do is some physical fitness, get a personal trainer. But yet, when you become a competitive male, which you should strive to do every day of your life, there's no boundaries on your lifestyle. As a matter of fact, I'll even vote for this. If you have a personal trainer in your area and they're a black man, hire them.
Yes.
Brothers supporting brothers. Yeah. There should be no reason why you shouldn't be the best version of yourself every day by day, hour by hour, minute by minute, second by second. They don't want to admit that men have a physical advantage over them once we're past the age of 30. I'm sorry, I don't see too many 40, 60-year-old women who are going to be called the most beautiful women on the planet. But have you ever noticed when they're doing the most handsome or the sexiest man alive, the average age of that guy is in his 30s and 40s? I mean, fucking Sean Connery did it in the 60s. My homegirl was like, what about Angela Bassett? I said, Angela Bassett looks great for her age. I will never take that away from her. But compared to Angela Bassett in her 20s or 30s, I said, who wants a car where the outside looks nice, but the insides are fucked? And unlike the human body, you can't put a fucking new engine in it. So when we look at this, and I tell ladies all the time, any lady who personally knows me knows that I'm going to be talking, hey, get yourself in the best possible shape.
You gotta look at
get yourself in the best possible, get yourself more in a more feminine state of mind. Become friendly. Because of one day, guess what? How many women be like, if I don't get married at 40, I'm going to just be single for the rest of my life? Because you know that your good days are behind you.
And you have to compete with other young women.
You know that.
You know what I'm saying? And they know this.
That sounds like a quitter to me. That sounds like a goddamn quitter. They know when to throw the damn towel. That's what that sounds like to me.
Throw the goddamn towel.
That's what that sounds like to me. Well, if I don't get married in 2 more years, which means she'll be 40. So you're telling me I should treat 40-year-old women on a pedestal? And before we play this video, I had to laugh at this shit. Female friend of mine sent me this article from Michael Baisden.
Okay.
Don't get me wrong, I like Mike, but he be doing a little simp preaching though. I liked him when he had his radio show talking against pimps in the pulpit, but he be simping a little bit.
Okay.
Well, men need to open themselves up and have sex with women in their 50s. Really?
Okay.
See, just because when you're in your 50s, you go through menopause or whatever, premenopausal, if you're not already menopausal at that time, and your testosterone levels even out with your estrogen, which means she becomes more logical and she has more sexual urges. She may want it more, but she's not in her physical prime. Like, there are not too many 50-year-olds who have the same shape and facial features as a 20, 30-year-old. Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
So we kid ourselves on some shit when we are legitimately giving you facts. You don't have to take my word for it. It's just a medical doctor. But guess what? We're going to have a good time tonight because you're going to be with me for a minute because I got plenty of shit and research that I picked off from. We're going to play this, and Chaos is also going to play the video of what a Marine captain said about women in combat.
Yeah.
Not my words. And I hope Maria's watching somehow, some way. I hope I get a couple of feminists and one of those male feminists watching as well, because I'm going to piss you off tonight. And eyes don't give a fuck. So Chaos, please roll that beautiful being footage.
Now, we might play like maybe 30 minutes of it until it gets to the point where the lady says it, because I just want to play to where these two are talking. So let us roll.
So Shana, let me pick.
You can play a little bit and speed it up.
Chat. So Oki MGTOW says, Shana, height, weight, dress size, and so I just wanted to ask a bit about your background, where you come from, because it seems you seems like you know a lot about high value men.
I rather not give my background to.
Oh, you don't? No, you don't have to explain. Your family life and things like that. Nothing too intrusive. Leo Anthony says, can Shana explain how so many successful and educated women are still unmarried and single if men cared about that aspect so much? And I think that's proof. I mean, to me, I'm saying men don't care. But I don't want to.
A lot of women. The reason why, I feel like Black men are being dishonest, especially like older Black men. And I don't know how old this man is, but he looks to be, older, I guess. And men like 40 and up who are like Generation X, they're being dishonest. Like, they know that this is where it all started, with Black men hating Black women because, they fell behind. Generation X women really, like, they became educated, they started making a lot of money, they left their counterparts behind. And that's why they're so angry. They didn't measure up. That's why a lot of those.
Stop.
See that? Stop. Shall we all take a deep breath on this one before we speak? On 3. 1, 2, 3. Number one, historically, you've always been more educated. Historically, let's keep it funky and a monkey. You bitches still can't make the money we can. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And not every Black woman is a bitch. But to also put it in perspective, not all Black women are ladies either. And that goes for any race of women.
Mm-hmm.
We have a very distinct dichotomy between a woman, a lady, and a bitch. What she was doing right there was being a bitch. I'm sorry. That was just some evil shit to say to somebody.
Mm-hmm.
Especially when historically.
Good.
Oh, great. Want a cigar?
Huh?
You want a cigar?
No, I'm good. Thanks for my off day.
But you got to understand, when systematically, the history of what Black men went through in this country. You know the level of discrimination they went through in this country, and you're going to say something so intellectually dishonest as that?
Yeah.
So you're telling the buyer he doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about.
Mm-hmm.
So you thinking these older Black men ain't checking your Kelly Blue Book, which is called your personality, your past relationships, how many men you slept with, your disposition, your height, your dress size, your weight.
Mm-hmm.
But yet notice it's all our fault.
Mm-hmm.
Notice it's always our fault.
Mm-hmm.
See, when you look at this shit and you actually break down the obvious discrimination and the benefits and the protection they get above us, stop being a bitch. Why can't you say it that you were given these benefits? See, a lot of them were given these benefits because they're the struggling single mother who got to deal with these brutal black men.
Mm-hmm.
They were the ones who get these degrees that don't amount to shit.
Mm-hmm.
Many of these women have thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars of debt,
Yeah.
and they're praying for a good black man to forgive them and all their babies and put them in a nice house. And she wants that man to kiss her ass while she doesn't do shit but get even fatter.
Mm-hmm.
And then taking kid, and he wants to take, and he's supposed to take my kids as his own while I refuse to give him kids
Yeah.
to carry on his legacy, but he's supposed to take care of another man's. What in the fuck is wrong with these bitches? But continue.
Thank you.
They felt like if I went to school to get an education and I'm making a lot of money, you should do the same. I know that their claim that this is not true, that they're making just as much or they were doing just as much, but it's untrue. Well, here in America, it's untrue. I'm not sure about, over there.
So Golden Infinite says, I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but pretty is privilege. I have yet to meet a man concerned about education. They don't want idiots, but they aren't that concerned about education. And I agree with this, Golden Infinite. Pretty is privilege. And that's why it's one of the things that I spoke about that high value men are looking for. Your looks, whether you want to acknowledge it or not, your looks are going to get you ahead. It's a privilege. And it's way more for privilege than education is at the end of the day.
So Jessica, I know that I remember speaking to you in a chat before, and I asked you like what you do for a living, and you said you were what did you say again?
I work in project management.
Okay, product management, right? So obviously you're an educated woman.
Mm-hmm.
So you attend functions, company functions, right? And you see the women that these men have married. Now, like I said, I don't know if it's different over here, but you see the women that these men have married, right? And of course, pretty is definitely a privilege, and you want to be pretty. But who have these men married? The ones that you see at these functions where you see like the partners or whoever, the high executives.
They come from all walks of life, right? Mm-hmm. But there are a few things that they have in common from the outside appearance. They are all attractive women. They are all in shape. Even the ones with wives who are older, their wives are still in very good shape, right?
Pause.
Feminine.
Ain't nobody trying to date no fat bitch.
Thank you.
What's that old song? I don't want to bump no more with no big fat woman. Don't want to bump. See, I keep telling ladies this. This is the reason why I said you and your daughter should learn how to be a great second in command.
Mm-hmm.
You know why the XO is always usually the sharpest? Because their job, the first sergeant and the XO's job is to make that commander look great.
Mm-hmm.
Because that commander can make that whole company's life a living hell.
Yep.
And that XO, who's going to tell that first sergeant, and that first sergeant is going to bring the hellstorm of fire and brimstone. And it's going to be a long roll shit downhill, especially to them specialists, them sergeants, them specialists, and them privates. See, this is the reason why a lot of people don't like the truth.
Yeah.
This is the reason why you listen to these women. When they feel comfortable, you'll learn something.
Mm-hmm.
You'll learn how they really feel. I don't like that passive aggressive bullshit when they come in there nice, but then when you say something that's, the antithesis against them, so of their speech, oh my God, no. Just listen, folks, especially the men, and you're going to learn some good shit today. Because number one, she just told you, well, looks do rule. Well, guess what? Y'all bitches don't want to be with a super ugly dude either.
Mm-hmm.
But if he's gonna be ugly, he better be a provider.
And think about it. Let's say if the man is ugly, like these women talk about, right? You're not supposed to be focused. Your attention as a man got do few things, provide and protect something. Looks are more of a male thing because, and I'm gonna be honest with you. If you talk to any older woman, mostly baby boomer, if they ask them about how they met their mate, and there was focus on the looks, on the average, when they're young.
No, they don't.
This look thing is a created entity that was in this culture, in this society, in regards where both genders roles are reversed. Men look for women that look more attractive and all this stuff, and fertility, all this stuff. Women look at what you could do as man. You're competent, provide all stuff. That back in the day was
are you capable?
Show that you were alpha because you had that potential and you do that during that time. But now it's so far left. It's ridiculous that now say you're picking for looks, everything else second, and see where it has it gotten. Matter of fact, it got you more behind. It has gotten you more stress. It has gotten you to do things that you don't want to do.
A whole bunch of unwanted kids.
Yeah.
Let's just tell the truth. A whole bunch of unwanted kids.
So when
a ravaged
when
womb.
women talk about this thing that they go by looks on the average, that's a male tendency. You're backwards.
But I'm glad you said that, because the average black woman looks for men the same way men look for men. That's why it's dangerous. That's why it's dangerous once you go into these indoctrination camps, aka college. Ladies, don't worry, Uncle Charles got you. He's going to tell you something. Do not listen to the funk. Why? Because a lot of these lonely bitches could not get the men you can get right now. They don't want to compete. That's why all of them are, man, if I can't get the men that I want, man. Told you, they're going to be like this, man. But just watch the screen. They're going to be like this. Told you. Man. I can't get the man I want. Just like that. Because number one, if they've got a guy who's capable versus if he's a pretty boy, then you're gonna get mad when he has a bunch of women.
Yeah.
I'm not saying don't get who you want, but there's an ebb and flow to this shit. Continue.
Right, let's continue because this is lengthy. I want to get to the part where she says what it says so we can move on to the next video.
And right? They have the things that I said guys are looking for.
Right, they are
with those factors, you can't go wrong. You can't go wrong. And so yeah, that's what I do for a living. I'm 25, right? Obviously I'm from England. I just wanted to I don't want to delve too much into your background, just your age, you know, just the sort of career you're in, things like that, so I can understand more where your perspective is coming from.
Yeah, I can't tell you. Like, I could tell you that, I could send you a message and tell you, but I don't want to disclose that to you.
You don't have to get too in detail, like 20s.
Because she's an old bitch.
I'm in my 30s.
Yeah.
Okay. You're in your 30s.
She's in her 30s. She's probably in her mid-30s, wall stage on average, over the wall.
You're engaged. Oh, okay. So
she's off the wall and can't get over it.
We actually met online, to be honest. So.
Online? Mm-hmm. Okay, and they say online dating is dead. So would you consider your fiance to be high value?
Yes.
And what would you say about you attracted him?
What attracted him? I think.
Pause for a second. This is gonna be real quick. Notice she didn't say what her fiance does and what makes him high value. Continue.
Can y'all please hit that Cash App, please, and please like the stream. See, this is why I work with Mr. Faulkner Jr. This is one thing he just caught that Miss X did not really push the narrative. It's natural. I get with other women, they don't really ask deep questions with other women. I get it. But this is what men ask. You get me? Why is it that you pick this up, bro? And a lot of women that when they go back, let's see this playback, they're not even really fixed. Okay, you're engaged. Okay.
Because I'm logical. I'm a logical creature. It's the way the male brain thinks. We think logic first, emotion second. Number one, if you're telling me your man is high value, then what the fuck you complaining about other men if you got a high value man?
Bingo.
So obviously you're not telling the truth. The rules of deduction do not lie. Either A, you really don't have a man, like a lot of these chicks who claim they do, or B, you don't even know what a high value man is if you walk past.
And majority of all women here in America don't know what high value is. And tonight, Mr. Sam has kind of proved that on this channel tonight. And if you're over 30 years old, you damn sure know what high value is. You get me?
You better, because
here's my thing. She up here talking about the men that talk about she go by one of the episodes that said that called and don't feel the high value, but you don't even know what high value is. You asking the man in this space what's high value, and you consider the male that you know why don't know, and you consider him high value. So if you don't have no actual definition of what a high value man is, then why the fuck you saying about what the men are is high value or not?
Why? You know why? My father had this saying, only hit dogs holler.
Let's continue.
Attracted to my looks, but I think what most attracted him is just, I mean,
do you consider yourself to be an attractive woman?
Regardless of what the men in the audience believe, I'm actually, a very nice woman. I'm supportive to him. I attend all of his events with him. I do everything to support him. So I'm just a very supportive woman to him. And I think he appreciated it a lot because I was with him, to attend everything that he goes to. So I think that he likes that because my guy, he's actually really driven. So he always has something that he's putting on. And, I'm always there to support him. And he likes that.
Putting on what?
So you're supportive. How long have you guys been together?
3 years.
3 years. Okay. So he actually found you while you were still in your 30s?
Now, Charles, I gotta pause this. How long it takes for a man to engage and get married to a woman if a woman is in her 30s? Depending on, and we don't know how old this dude is. What's the average? Under a year, right?
If a man really wants to marry, he could do it in 6 months to a year and a half.
So if you're engaged now, you've been together for 3 years. That's odd. It don't take a man 3 years to decide to put a ring on it. But you...
And notice, she didn't say how old this motherfucker is.
No, she did not say that. So I tell you, when you have people up here and they leave too much holes, a man will... See, listen, the problem with a lot of women don't really want to have conversation with actual men in this space, but can we ask these serious questions? And we must understand, if you're looking for the life you're looking for, the man you look for, these men are much more severe than us. Man has time and resource. And one thing a man does not want to waste on the average, especially a man that's up there in levels, that's making the money and doing the things that he should be doing, he's not going to waste time.
He doesn't want to waste his time. Because you can't get time back. I can make money back. Hell, I could get anything back. Hell, I can even get blood back, but I can't get time. That's a precious commodity. And to be with a woman who spends her time 30 minutes to an hour with another chick complaining about men, obviously you're a time waster.
Bingo.
Have you ever noticed the ladies on my channel? Time after time, seldomly they come up, and there's nothing against them. It's because they have men. Yeah. They're servicing their family and their men. So when they do get a little bit of time, I appreciate it, and I give them the opportunities to speak because I know they have precious time. But ladies like this who can constantly just yell and berate men, she's a time waster. Continue.
Yes. Or was it in your... Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So you're mid-30s then. What else was I going to ask? Do you mind saying, sort of what career field you're in? You don't have to be too exact, but just the general, just the gist of it.
I'm not going to say it because they will say I'm lying. I'm not going to say it. I don't want to deal with these people. I have spoken on here before, okay, and they will say that I'm lying, and I don't want to deal with that. So
what I say is ignore the chat
Because that's a good entertainer that you are.
You are lying.
because it can be distracting.
And really, there's no secret.
I can send you an email and let you know who I am, but I don't want to tell them because I've already experienced that with them. Like that's how you know that they're not. I don't want to get into it again because people think that you're trying to be.
If one's telling the truth,
that's how I know that
they're not going to be ashamed. I'll say this about women that I've learned through the years. Women are never ashamed of their education or their looks. A pretty woman's never going to hide her looks or her education. So bump that shit.
But it goes back again. A woman that is honest about her life is like an open book, Now, no one's going to put no judgment because whether we see you in person or not, at least we know you're not bullshitting. But like in the space, too much lies. You get me? Especially around male space, And I've been around a few women in my life, bro, that every time I have a conversation, the story kind of adds in and changes up a little bit. So me as a man, I'm looking to say, well, you're not really sincere because the story don't sound right. I think with women today, they're comfortable and trained to tell a lie on every little thing. They damn sure won't tell a lie in that workplace they work at. But when they were on the real world, it's like you had to break through that mask that they're under. And I don't like that. And I think as any adult, as you get older, you should be more comfortable with yourself and reality. Especially in your 30s and you're playing these games. I expect people that's in
You're too damn old for that shit. She's doing high school girl level shit.
But once you leave high school, I would say I give you a minimum up to 21. After 21, if you're still playing games, I'll be honest, say you're still a child and you get like cheering. Yeah, you get everything that you deserve. But let's continue to take.
They're not around people because they will act as though your career is unheard of. Like, oh, you can't possibly be that. No. People who are in certain careers are normal people. We are regular people. Like, I don't get it.
Okay. Would you describe yourself as feminine and submissive?
Yes, I am feminine. Yes, I am submissive. Believe it or not, I am a Christian. So yes, I believe in being submissive to my husband.
So, and this is what I
bullshit.
said, in the beginning. I said men are looking for looks. You said you're an attractive woman. Right? So you've got that. I said men are attracted to submissiveness and femininity. You say that you've got that. Right? Youth, I think you're under 36.
Yeah, right? but I'm over 30.
So I know, right? But I'm talking about fertility comes with youth, and that happens pre 35 years old, where you're still in the state where you can have the high probability that you will have healthy children. And so you have all of those things, yet you still sort of disagreed with the things that I laid out. So I don't get it.
I didn't disagree with everything you said, but I just disagreed with some of the things, and I gave you what I did disagree with. Now, as far as fertility goes,
sorry,
Shana.
Sorry to interrupt you. Let me just say thank you to SOBC for the super chat coming through to support the channel. I appreciate it. I appreciate all the super chats. Really helps. Young J216 says height, weight, dress size, please. Cam-up and yam-up. So I think I don't know how tall she is, but she said that she's slimmer built. That she feels men typically like thicker women, but she's slim. She's in her 30s. Height, weight, dress size. Yeah. How tall are you? Do you mind saying how tall you are?
I'm pretty
and
tall.
Your weight?
I'm pretty tall. I'm tall. I'm slim. That's me. But as far as fertility goes, that's something that I wanted to speak on because we're in 2020, right? And I don't think that women should rush out of desperation to find a man before they reach 35. Things are very different now. Women are able to have kids after 35, and
you do know that post 35, do you know how high the risks go up of you having a child with a disability, you having a child with autism? People want healthy babies. That's built into us biologically. We want the healthiest offspring, right? And that comes with youthful women. And even if you do freeze your eggs, so you take them at a stage where they're still healthy and more viable, it doesn't change the fact that your body has now gotten older. And so you still face the consequences of having a baby at an older age, which also the childbirth comes with more complications when you get older. So I think it's the wrong thing to do to tell women that you can wait off until an older age to have children. That's doing women a disservice.
Let me tell you why I say that, Jessica, because I've like done some research and I've been reading about this, about fertility and all that, and studies that come out. So studies actually show it's not the woman's egg that causes the birth defects. It's actually the older man's sperm. See, older women are usually mated with older men, and it's the male sperm that causes the birth defects, like cerebral palsy and all those things that you mentioned. So that's what studies show now. Studies actually
must be talking about white men.
Shauna, no. That right there is not true. As you get older, your eggs start to deteriorate. So we all know basic biology, right? Women are born with all of
facts.
See,
Facts. Fuck. Pause it. God. Woo. Woo.
Y'all better cash at me this bullshit, man. I know I don't get much respect.
Y'all better cash
I know I don't get much respect in my name on this, but when I go around the YouTube streets and podcasts and I come across these things, I have to share it. It's got to.
Y'all gotta donate to the channel, donate to the chief engineer giving y'all this fucking golden opportunity. See, this is the reason why a lot of you black women are gonna be hated by the majority. When you come into your logical mind and do your research and understand the differences of the male and female body, and you don't go by your emotions, see, let's talk about key things that this, I guess her name was Jessica, whatever the fuck it was. She said something that all women say, I feel. Not that it is, not that I think, but I feel. First and foremost, male sperm does not really deteriorate. Okay? Male sperm, I've known 80-year-old men to produce children. Your eggs are almost done at 30. 80% of your fucking eggs are done. You're down to 5% of being fertile at 40. I just read the medical report to you all. But
they don't talk about that.
Facts should always rule over feelings. But once you get a black woman correct her, shout out to Jessica X. That's her name,
Jessica
right?
X was, and the one she was talking to is Shonda. I think that's her name, but she go by.
Well, Shonda is a dumbass. Because shout out to Jessica X. Shonda should change her name to dumbass. Because she said the dumbest shit in the world that you can just Google any medical research paper and know that your best chances of conceiving children for a woman is typically from 15 to 27. 30, you're down to
29,
10.
Just to squeeze in. But go on. Listen.
29. Yeah. But continue it. That's going to be interesting.
Let me see. It's my thing. So
can I have your email? I will send you the studies that have been done.
If you go to the About section on my page, my email was there. Women are actually born with all the eggs that you'll have for your lifetime.
Yeah, they just found out. You have to do your research, sweetie. They just found out that women are not born with a finite number of eggs, that women actually continue to produce eggs. This is what they found out. This is the fertility studies that they've been doing. The problem is that we are producing, you're right in that they're producing eggs of less quality. So that's why they're unable to hold a pregnancy, because they're eggs of less quality. But that is not what's causing the birth defects. The male sperm is what's causing the birth defect. And like,
how the fuck is it when your egg is innate and your fucking eggs are low quality? Women do not produce more eggs.
But it goes,
okay, your bitches ain't chickens.
It goes back to again, bro, that a lot of women, because they're beyond wall stage, that they feel what men have been talking about for some time. Remember, women are listening to these streams. They feel they're not listening to the men. They are listening. And men are not just running out their mouth. They know, and we know, that all you get and the longer you wait as a woman is a death toll. You get me? All other race women know this.
Mm-hmm.
See, that's why I tell most black women must understand you're in competition with other race women, right? You want to hear it or not. You do not move and act and how they move and how you move. Two different set of race women move differently than our women. They know that they're not going to prolong and wait in this environment because they know the outcome of them conceiving is much riskier. Now, for some sisters, yeah, I've seen some that give birth in their 30s. I'm not saying it's not possible, but the older you get, you're putting yourself at a serious risk, especially in the West, we call America. You know what I'm saying? We already know the infertility death rate, Charles. Do we have to go into that? Do we really want to go into that? Do we really have to go into that? I want people to understand. Do we really want to go into that? And I'm not talking about the celebrities.
See,
I'm talking about women, black women generally. Listen. This is why I do this.
Here's the problem. Here's the fucking problem. Reality dictates all. Mm-hmm. Okay? When you know that your body as a woman can only take the beating and pounding of a pregnancy, because that's what your body legitimately goes through, a beating and a pounding. If you don't have all your kids by a certain age, you're not going to have any. Mm-hmm. And just by the grace of God and Buddha, Allah, and all the gods combined, you have a child. You're going to be high risk. You're going to be confined to a bed. You're going to be confined to a hospital bed out of fear of losing that child. So ask me how I know, because a friend of mine was a high risk pregnancy and she was in her 20s, her late 20s.
Yeah.
So when you listen to a lot of these ladies who talk this dumb shit, instead of actually going by, well, they found out they produced, no, they don't.
No, they don't.
Because guess what? She would have brought out, look what we did. We brought out actual papers and articles you can actually research, and don't take, I've always said it, like reading a rainbow, don't take my word for it.
And mind you, we could even share a screen on some of these articles if we wanted to, but for the sake of time and conversation, and I tell people many times, when you Google a simple Google search, you see the first listings up top and bottom, and they go through the thousands. And as you know, as you go, you keep clicking on and you scroll down, you don't see nothing they talk about said the longer you wait, you're good. It's always saying the opposite. Each article, even the one that you told me that was recent months ago. So wherever this information that she found, that I'm not sure if Jessica, if she emailed to Jessica, which maybe I doubt it, but we all know the risk.
I hope you do send.
You see?
I hope the email does go to Jessica, because I would love to have her on the show. As a matter of fact, I wish that I wasn't so harsh on all of my trolls, because I would invite a troll or three up here and tell me differently. And we're also going to play what the Marine Corps captain said. We're going to play what the former Navy SEAL said. I sent it to your Facebook.
Yeah.
Or what they said about women with combat. But continue the video for a little bit longer.
Yeah, we're going to watch a little bit more of this.
It's all been for improvement. And I'm going to send you the email, and I will send you all the data on this, all the scientific data.
I'd appreciate if you do, because as I said, women are born with all of their eggs, right?
And by the way, you don't go by just one paper when it comes to researching. Didn't I say you go by at least 10?
At least.
The rule of 10 always applies.
And you can go as far as 15, but if you email me only one source, that tells me you were just looking to find because you are at an age now where you feel because you're at the high risk age, which you are, because first of all, no person was to waste time look for that unless they're already at the age where you're at high risk. So right there, you're telling yourself right there. So I tell most people, you gotta be intelligent.
And then on,
when we talk, when you're on these panels talking, okay, and I give disclosure of certain things. I get it, but as you talk on, I could also piece 1 + 1 + 2 + 2, and it starts to add up. Because you're fighting something that from regular research, it doesn't say anything different from now what something new. But go on.
No. And then you got to also realize this. Every good researcher know that you have to cross-reference your hypothesis, okay? See, a lot of motherfuckers never heard of this shit. It's actually something you might have heard of in grade school called the scientific method. So you're just going by one research paper and you never cross-referenced it. You never seen anything that challenged it. You never seen anything that actually agrees with it. Just one. That's like saying when I had to cross-reference shit that says, "Are people born gay?"
Mm-hmm.
And when you actually check out the source, and if those people have a pro-gay agenda, then guess what? Instead of neutral, that research will become faulty, and you have to throw it out.
Exactly. See, bro, that's what I respect about you. Especially when people say you could be born gay. How so? When you see this agenda being pushed, there's nothing scientific saying you're gay. Period. I'm not sure why people still defend.
As a matter of fact, you're not even born sexual.
Mm.
If you look at real research, it takes you what? Goddamn 12, 13 years old to really get a concept of what sexuality is about. Mm-hmm. You may have a liking towards a person, but it's not sexual. Because children at a very young age are not sexual.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, they're having an age of discovery. They may touch their private parts, but it's not for sexual pleasure. It's for curiosity.
Exactly.
So when we go through this whole notion that, oh, there's a gay gene. So wait a minute. Can you choose who you love?
Mm-hmm.
So if you're saying, no, I can't help who I love, then you're saying that it's not a choice and it's something genetic.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the same people who will argue to you and say that black people are predispositioned for violence in America.
Exactly. That garbage notion. So you got a gene that.
But go ahead.
And it makes one say, okay, black people, let's say that's true. So why black people are not taking that aggression to the people that has been oppressing the most? I wait.
Think about it. If anything, we are more we have a predisposition towards forgiveness.
Exactly.
So if you're going to come up with this shit and come up with this research, you're going to have to, just like the Gray Faulkner initiative, believe it or not, we've looked at years and decades of research. Mm-hmm. We looked at historical research. Well, why wouldn't I tell my son to go to the military? Because that's one of the few places where he'll actually find a job and skills that will actually last him a lifetime. Mm-hmm. People can take away your degrees, but they can never take away your skills.
Yeah. Well, let's continue.
Your ovaries for 35 years and the quality starts to deteriorate, right? And on top of that, you start to have less and less of them. So you are born with a finite amount, which is why once you hit a certain age, you reach menopause and you can't have children anymore because we're not constantly producing them, right? No, we have a finite amount, and once they're gone, they're gone.
Science has proven that that's false.
You can't, Shana, you can't disagree with menopause. Right, that's exactly what menopause is. It's you have left. We have a finite amount.
At menopause, you stop producing. This is what they found out.
No, at menopause, not that you stop producing, you no longer have any left.
But you're going off of old research, Jessica. You have to You have to get your research up to date. I'm telling you.
Yeah, get your research up to date.
Like I actually.
I'm 38 years old. I'm at the wall.
I'm just making up.
I could have kids.
Fly into the danger zone. Somebody need to key that Kenny Loggins, man. Key Kenny Loggins.
The quality of the eggs are not the same as they were when they were younger. That's why they came up with all these new things of like PRP, which is placenta refill, which they're trying to rejuvenate the eggs to make the eggs healthier. That's why they're coming up with all these things.
You can't rejuvenate.
She basically tried to
producing eggs.
How can you rejuvenate something that's no longer there?
I'll wait. Unless you're
wait.
Gonna steal some wombs from black women. Oh, oops, I should have said that.
Yeah. Like they
is
already
that
doing.
the
Like they're
body
already
snatchers?
doing.
Oops.
Mm-hmm. See what she wants to do. She wants to do the equivalent of getting a jump for her reproductive system.
Mm-hmm.
Like, she wants to put the jumper cables on her ovaries and connect it to a fucking live battery and go. That's the fuck she's talking about. She wants a jump for her reproductive system when she already knows that she's out of whack.
Exactly.
But continue. This gets funnier.
It's like scientific fact at this point.
Okay, so there is a scientific theory, right, that stems back from one finding in 2004 that a woman may be able to produce new eggs in her lifetime, right?
No, it's not from 2004.
And it was, it's a theory, a new study, right? This came out in 2012, and it stems back from 2004.
Do we go by scientific fact or do we go by scientific theory?
We should go by facts. What the evidence showing.
So we have the theory of relativity, but guess what? Has any person ever went to the speed of light?
Nope.
So it's still a what?
Theory.
Jackasses, continue.
Study women.
Continue. This shit is funny.
And this has not been replicated on humans. The research is still in its infancy and has only been conducted on mice at this point.
No, Jessica.
So
with all due respect, you can't just do like a 2-minute research. You have to go into and delve into it, and you will see what I'm talking about.
This is actually
What did I say? What did I say?
So although
By the way, folks, this is the first time I ever heard of this video, so you're learning as I'm learning what I'm hearing.
Yeah. So, this is a learning channel at times, so we're not always dealing with bullshit. Let's continue.
Oh no.
Right.
Oh no.
That the finding stems back. Although they're saying it stems back from 2004, they conducted a study in 2012. There is actually no proof, and I'd be happy for you to link it. You can send it to me. I'll look over it. But there is no proof
I will send everything
what
to you.
You're saying is even applicable to human beings. This is something that was done on mice.
You need to further your research because it is applicable to humans.
Shauna,
You've already done it.
I get it, and it's all very well and good to sit there and say it, but unless you can link proof that says otherwise, right, then the current information, the current factual information stands, right? And we can say it is a fact that women have, and you can't even dispute this, it is a fact that women have a finite amount of eggs.
No,
that is a fact.
Not true.
Shauna, the fact that you have menopause means that there is a finite amount of eggs. A man continues to produce sperm up until death, right? It's the body constantly produces sperm. However, the body does not constantly produce eggs.
Actually, you can produce sperm even a few days after death.
Hey, wasn't there an article out? This is like a year ago too. That a woman got pregnant because of a man died, and she was riding and lo and behold, she got knocked up off a dead man.
Mm-hmm.
So what that fear
you can a few days after you still See, this is the reason why I love debunking bullshit, because it's comical to me. It gives me strength, like Mighty Hercules or some shit, like the axe of Shango or something. It's like the fucking power of Grayskull and Thunderbolts lightning coming down. See, when you debunk this shit, and see, she's nice about it. Jessica X is actually a nice person. I'm not necessarily a nice person, because I would have told her, once you tell me some theory about some goddamn mice, is the human body a much more complex creature than a mouse's body? As a matter of fact, the human body is one of the most complex creatures on the fucking planet. What animal takes 27 years to fully develop? You're not even really a fucking adult at 18. You're truly a fucking adult at 27, 21 for women.
Yep. And
hell, the male body is even more complex.
And that's the brain. You get me?
That's the brain.
That's when you know that you have reached that stage of what we call enlightened in your intellect. You know?
See, a lot of these motherfuckers, men and women, because I can't just put it on the ladies, especially them fucking male feminist bullshitters. How the fuck can you tell me something about a goddamn mouse when, number one, your brain for a male stops developing at 27, 21 for a female? The human male is even more of a complex creature than a female. Do you know how complex it is to fucking develop sperm? Like, for God's sakes, you want to talk about see, women, that tells you about the women's brain. And you could tell Jessica X been around some men, because she thinks in a logical, I got to give her credit, she thinks in a very logical mode. Because as soon as she heard that shit, she was like, no, that's bullshit. And a nicer way than I would say it, no, that's bullshit. You're thinking of a theory versus facts. Why do I keep saying facts over feelings?
Yeah.
See, there's practice and there's theory. Practice will always overwhelm theory. That's just basic educational study. That's just basic scientific knowledge. How many times do we see 60-year-old women pregnant?
Yeah.
Continue.
All right.
Amount, which means when it's
let
done,
me ask you a
it's
question,
done.
Jessica. Did you look up the fact that...
Shut up. Just not to interrupt. Let me just quickly read the super chats. So Oki Migtal says, what's the proposal story? Size of the diamond on ring.
I mean, look at this. Forget it. I'm not going to say anything. But anyway, so
Jessica is Gigi, a lawyer, and she's single.
Okay.
Did I miss Siblings Cash App? Okay, sorry. Just get through all these super chats while I can. So Classy Young Man says, what's the name of the source, doctor, research department in university that has given out that information? I can contact these people. And, you know, it's really actually a dangerous thing to take a theory that's still in its infancy, right? And try and bring it out as fact.
Okay,
and like I say, it is indeed a fact that women have a finite amount of eggs. That is a fact.
See, that's the problem. You're not supposed to be the one telling people to look up. You're supposed to be the one presenting. Okay? I actually have fucking at least about 25 to 30 pages right here sitting on my goddamn lap about the physical differences between men and women.
Okay.
But we'll continue so we can get to that shit.
I'm going to send, Jessica, I'm going to send you all of the information, but I have to ask you a question. Did you also look up what I just said to you, that the reason, the cause of cerebral palsy and all of those other birth defects is due to sperm from old men? Did you look that up? Because that is the cause of birth defects. Did you look that up?
No, give me a second. Yeshua says, "Can you get rid of Shana already? Just listening to her makes my just listening to her makes my head hurt." Dr. Quinn. Oh, sorry, Dr. Quinn. I just made you a doctor. D. Quinn, give her a couple of minutes to find a link to post. And that would be okay if you could find it and then link it while it's still relevant. But yeah, so you can't deny that as a woman, and this is the thing, right? Let's take what you say into account. Let's just say, for argument's sake, what you say is true. I'm sorry, Daniel. I'm sorry to miss your super chat. I don't see it up there. Just type it in the chat and I will read it out. So, Mr. says, this sounded like the heretic Gigi from Kevin Samuel's show. He did an entire episode on her and her delusions. Are you Gigi? A few people have said that now. I don't really watch Kevin Samuel's. Have you gone Gigi before?
No, my name is not Gigi. I have a different name that I use, and I have spoken before, though, on the shows. I have a different name.
On this show?
No, I have spoken before on Obsidian show, but I have a different name that I use. I don't use Gigi. I'm not Gigi. I'm someone else that they probably have heard as well.
Okay. So yeah, let's just say for argument's sake, it's sperm that causes these defects, right? Would it not make sense for them to seek out, right? Knowing this, they would seek out the healthiest eggs possible for them to procreate with. It still doesn't change anything.
Mm-hmm.
It still means that they're going to want youthful, healthy eggs.
Yes, I agree. Jessica, I agree with everything that you're saying, but my concern is women, right? My concern is not men. I see your concern is men, but my concern is women. And my concern is that these older men are trying to tell women like myself who are younger than them, because I hear men in their 50s wanting to date women my age. They're trying to tell them to date them. But I think that's
because they can.
As I said, older men.
She doesn't like the fact that she has to compete.
Yep.
And even if that's the case, you still...
How can that be? Let's see. Pause it for a second. I hate to do it because I want to... Do you know throughout history how many men have had children by older women, by younger women, and the children were fucking bred healthier?
Yeah.
And even back in the day, the average man who lived on a farm had a younger woman, probably 14 years younger than him. So she could kick out them babies so he could get help on that goddamn farm.
Mm-hmm.
So you're not even giving up you didn't even give up any research for how are these older men causing cerebral palsy and all this shit.
Mm-hmm.
Nor did you give up the fact of any evidence of this, we can make finite eggs, which is not true. But continue.
All right, you continue.
Be a woman. We want the healthiest offspring possible. And so even if I know, just say I know I've got a defective gene, right? And I could possibly pass that on to my children. What I'm going to do is I'm going to look for a man who does not have that defective gene also. Why? Because I want the healthiest children possible. Does that make sense? This is just basic common sense. And so it still applies.
Yeah.
Okay, so Daniel Myrie super chat that I missed says, Jessica X, she calls herself a Christian, but she is judging men that she has never met, that she's never even met. She's basically a black Democrat female feminist. And to touch on that, I did find it interesting that, you were very quick to say these men aren't high value. When talking about referring to the men in the chat, these men aren't high value. These men aren't this, that, and the other. And it's like, how would you know? You don't know these men. You aren't familiar with them to make that judgment, to even find out what they do, what they're about, yet you were casting that judgment upon them.
It was proven last night on Kevin Samuel's show that the majority of these men are not high value. They're just red pill raging.
This is not Kevin Samuel's show. This is not Kevin Samuel's show.
You're correct, Jessica, but these men all are in the chat room. Like, we can't be dishonest. They're all in the chat room at Kevin Samuel's show the same way they're here. Like, it's just a spillover from this red pill regime. They're mad at women.
Does that sound like a lady who has a man? Or does that sound like a lady who hates men?
Let me tell you what it sounds like. It sounds like a woman that listens to these space for a reason, and they listen and try and cater to bullshit. And this is the same thing that the so-called minister that a lot of them complain about. That this is the same things that the men been talking about for years. You know? And Kevin even has issue with it. Who could tell black women the truth? Did you know Obsidian?
They can't even tell.
Did you know Obsidian played back one of them streams when one woman gave the answer? Kevin said, "Who could tell her the truth?" You know who she named? Omar Johnson. Now, I do like what Omar speaks and certain information he puts out, but he has not really proven done shit. Hell, the school right now, let me tell you something, bro. School just started for every kid right now in America, right?
Mm-hmm.
The school that he said that he established, right? Paid for and somewhat fixed, right? How do you think his school is going to operate now under this condition now we face now as a nation in the world?
It's going to be pretty hard unless he starts an online course first. Then on top of that, when you get a woman like that, see, women like that and the one who was speaking, they love the cult of personality. They love the guy who can just make them do stuff, who can drive them to do shit. They don't really want to test. They don't really want to actually go out there and compete anymore.
No.
They're like one of those kids who can never win at freeze tag or hide and go seek.
Mm-hmm.
They'll never win.
Yeah.
So they're like, oh, I quit.
Yeah.
Because that's not a woman who has a man, because she's too damn combative.
Very combative.
Too damn combative.
And here's the funny thing. She says she's in an interracial relationship with a Caucasoid man. And it makes me want to say,
which is a lie.
Because it goes back to notion, where is Waldo? If you are dating out, why are you still in this space? Everyone else, the most people that talk about that, they said they decide to move on with outside the community, where that's their God-given right for the sake of this conversation. But why are you worrying about the men here? And tomorrow say these men are not the high value, they're red pill rage, all this shit. That don't sound like a person that's in a comfortable relationship. Women that are comfortable,
because she still long for that black man. Why can't you accept me? I bet you she's dark skinned, and I love dark skinned sisters.
I mean,
because I don't hear too many light skinned sisters.
Yeah.
I bet I can pretty much tell you what it is, because you don't hear too many caramel and light skinned sisters with this conniption fit. And not to put it on all dark skinned sisters.
To be honest with you, you're dead on right, because the women that complain the most, on the average, are the ones that they talk about how they can't get a man. Someone said men are colorist. There's the same about dark skin. And let me tell you, so one of the few things as a man, and ladies, this is good. We like to deal with women that at least confident that they know that they look good, especially if they're dark skin. If they keep their body in shape and they keep their skin nice, we could tell.
Well, that dark skin that dark skin shit keep you young as forever, man.
Especially you're confident and you like the way you look. I mean, you're happy about it. See, women.
I mean, look at, once again, I'll bring up Angela Bassett. See, women. Let me break this shit down. Women tend to, especially in the black community, they tend to want to bring up fucking shit that you for their arguments, but then when you debunk it, they want to then that's not right. But yet, y'all the same bitches who thought Meghan Markle, because she was marrying a white prince, was the shit.
She's black.
But if she would have married Tyrese, the chick who Tyrese married is around the same complexion, maybe a little bit darker. Oh, she ain't no black queen. Pick a struggle.
Pick a struggle. Yo, bro,
Pick a
you're right
goddamn
about
struggle.
that. Real talk, man. If she was dating one of the brothers, it would issue. But because she dating a Caucasoid, because she is actually more white. Because I know she's black until last year, right? All women said, we got a black one. It's backwards. I said, hold on. You only picking the one.
You know how many black women woke up early?
Out, but if it's in amongst the race or a so-called race, it's an issue. It makes me want to say you have a complex with your skin tone, and you're afraid of the actual competition. And much times, black men's gonna keep drilling in your fucking head. You're gonna have to compete for the man you want.
It's sad because I always see the hypocrisy of the argument. If it was a famous black guy and he dates whoever the fuck he dates, you get upset. But if it's a black woman dating who she wants, like look at Serena Williams, she dating basically the equivalent of Opie, and black guys didn't say shit. Yeah. We didn't care.
On the average, most black guys
if it wasn't for guess what?
But you know they always look at say
it was.
Here's one thing I'm gonna intertwine. There's some of the women that have the channel say that black men did care. I said, to be honest with you, no, they did not. Because let me tell you why. Let me tell you why. Because when people make decisions with their sexual organs, who they want to fucking suck and stuff, it's not really too much of emphasis of time. You're not going to see millions of channels talk about what women are choosing these non-blacks to. But when it comes to the black side, you see millions of channels. And some channels that go repeatedly are what the men choose. So who really cares about who's fucking who? Let's keep it real. If I type Google right now or YouTube right now, I'll find very little what men focus on what the women doing, unlike the women focus what the men doing. So really,
because they don't want to admit it, the men are the bias.
Yeah, interracialism. This is a black woman thing. You get me?
Last time I checked, we don't have swirling channels.
No, we don't have it.
We don't have swirling channels on how to get a white chick. All we got to do is just be around them.
That's it.
You know, y'all the ones who got to learn that shit.
Bro, let me tell you how shameful it is. If a person has to write a book telling how to get a non-black man, that tells you they're not checking for you. Because like any nation takes its course, right? They should just flock to you because you look away and you're attractive. But if you're getting a man that's pumping and dumping you, then that tells you what your worth is. And that's the honest truth that I want to know here. The time I said, you got a man that's fucking you. In regards to a man that's giving you something long term and something that's secure, which is sometimes the highest form as a marriage. Anything less than that, you're just a plaything. And we all know the long-term relationships like our sisters engage in. That'd be string along for 5 to 10 years with a man, have kids, and nothing to show for it. And then you could complain about the community. Especially if you're in your 20s. But let me continue play this. I want to play the military thing. This is Bobby done anyway.
Hate women with a broad brush, but they can't. You know, it's the women that they're dealing with. If they're dealing with low-quality women, they're not concerned about other things. That's what they're going to get for themselves. But that's why they're mad because they don't know how to choose
when you can see from what these men are saying, they are concerned with other things. However, the society that we're living in, these low-value women are making up the majority of the population, of the society. Right? And that's why I made this stream, because these women have convinced themselves in their head that they are high value, when in reality they couldn't be anything further from it. They're actually low value women who have deluded themselves into thinking that they have some sort of high value or something to offer a man. And they have nothing to offer other than just simply opening up their legs. And they think, that's enough. So New Age Gamer says, I put in the super chat, this high value feminist is the type who will lead other women astray. And sorry, Shauna, I do have to agree that some of your advice is definitely not helping women. You're going to lead them down the wrong path.
Damn.
Especially when you're telling them not to worry about having kids, wait until you're in your 30s or 40s.
No, I never said that.
You said wait until you said wait until you're in your 30s. You did say that earlier on, and that's how and Shana, that was how we got into the whole dispute about whether or not.
I said I don't want women to do things out of desperation. I never said to wait. I said I don't want women to do things out of desperation and think, oh, because I'm getting older,
like you did,
need a man to have a child with, because that is what women do. They want to need a man to have a child with because they feel like they're about to lose out on their childbearing years. So what I'm saying is science is proving differently. So I want women to take their time and find the right man.
Science has not proven differently.
They have not
proven shit. The factual science that we have proves what I was saying, right? You brought up a theory, and a theory is just that. There are plenty of theories that come out every day, right, that have no actual solid proof behind them. And you're right, there are women who hit, say 30 years old, and they get what we call like baby rabies, and they go out and try and have a child with whoever will take them. And that is why I am giving the advice that I'm giving, that before you get to 30, when you're still in your 20s, even from your late teens, you should be seeking to be a high-value woman and find yourself a high-value man. Do not wait until you hit 30. Don't wait until that stage, because by then it's too late. Your camera is on, Shana. By then it's too late. Your best years are going to be behind you.
Well, what I have to say,
some women make it seem like they have all the time in the world, and they don't. So, New Age Gamer says, what does she rate herself? What does she rate herself from 1 to 10? What would you rate yourself looks wise?
7.
I'm not going to go there with these people. Like, I'm not, because
listen, you don't have to go nowhere. We could tell by how you're expressing yourself. You're not. Listen, bro. She's not even 7. But let's cut that out. She probably at most average.
She's not a 7.
Average. Listen, she's average.
A 4.
Average.
Let me put it to you this way. I'm going to teach you. I'm going to teach everybody who's listening. I'm going to teach everybody who's listening this real quick. Is Jessica X an attractive woman?
Anybody in the chat room still? I haven't checked the chat room. Let me see what's going on.
Is Jessica X an attractive woman? From the picture she's displaying, I would say yes. Does it look like she's hard bent on getting a man? No.
She's okay for
once again,
years, but she has to start speaking.
Yeah,
because she's 26 years.
But guess what? Here's the point, right? Mm-hmm. Here's the point that I'm making. What did I say what a woman who feels as though she's beautiful is going to do? She's going to show off her beauty. That's the equivalent of a man who thinks he's strong. What is he going to do? Mm-hmm. He's going to show off his strength.
Mm-hmm.
So if a man's physically fit, what is he going to do? Is he going to wear baggy clothing or looser clothing to show off his physique?
He's going to probably take off his shirt, most likely.
Exactly, because he knows what he's working with. So the equivalent of that for women is she's going to show off her beauty. Not one time did she get on the camera. Not one time did she show the ring that she's engaged with. She spent more time arguing with people in the chat and arguing about men than she talking about how good of a relationship she's in.
And that's the game that I want people to take out of tonight from this first part of this stream. And one day, and Jessica X will eventually show herself on camera to even show more, because right now she had a very infant stage on her channel. But once she started camming up and like doing live streams with herself, I guarantee wherever level she is now, if she really says she'll be much more faster growth than this. You know what I'm saying? At 2K, she should be up to close to 10K right now by the end of this month, within 2 months average. But like I said, depending what you're trying to take out of the channel. Right now, I don't really say much right now because there is a thing called catfishing going around here. And so I see actual video of her. Otherwise, I say, she is what is. No, I'm not gonna really question it. But for the sake of conversation for Miss Shonda, to what you said today, bro, you talking about the black male in this space, but you're not even talking about the man that you say you're engaged with, who he is, what he does,
which is that those 4C batteries inside that little phallic looking contraption she got that vibrates.
Yep.
Sound like a Jedi lightsaber.
Yeah. And
having dreams of little Dorcel children.
So to sit there trying to, and this is why I tell most, let me tell you something about real women. And ladies, don't get offended. Any woman under age 25 are not going to listen to you no more. I mean, that honestly, they're coming into the space, listening to the man what they want, and they're going to make the adjustment. That's why when Kevin does his stream, maybe tomorrow, the next day, he's going to tell most young women the opportunities they have of getting the best quality man possible. You get me? But after most of you that's over 26, you got to start rushing it. You know what I'm saying? And the door could easily close as you go past the mid-20s. So right now, a lot of these women that's telling them about you wait longer to have kids and all that stuff, stay away from them stupid bitches. Because one thing, they're not even competition anyway. They have nothing to show for it. They have not even showed themselves much as a ring or the mate. And I'll be honest with you, ladies. Any woman that's giving you any advice, especially on YouTube, they better show something for it. I'm being dead serious, bro. Look, right now, there's a lot of snake oil salesmen on YouTube right now. Listen to me, good ladies.
You know what? I'm on show your work.
Yeah.
Shit.
Yes.
Because I'm like this. I had chicks tell me, you don't work out. If you go down my video list, some of my early videos, you see me putting up 400 and 300 pounds for multiple reps. Well, he doesn't come on the camera. How many times has my face been on camera? Damn, every time I light up a cigar.
Yeah, they could find your Facebook page, bro. I mean, come on, man.
Well, my Facebook.
Too much excuses right now, man.
Here's the excuses for a woman to say that, and women tend to be the softer, the fair, the much more beautiful sex, which I definitely agree. So guess what? If you really want to do it, show your fucking work. If you really are married or engaged, show your fucking work. Show off your fucking husband.
Yeah.
Because last time I checked, if you really married and got all this shit going for you, show your work. Show your natural face, your natural beauty, and let it be taken.
Exactly.
And I don't know how further this shit goes on longer, but here's the question. We just scientifically disproved, and so did Jessica X, disproved that men and women are not even equal.
Exactly.
So let's play that one clip. Let's play that one clip from the Marine female sergeant.
All right. Let me see.
Because we're gonna.
You could stop sharing this. Let me go again.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm just gonna play the audio of it. Okay, so let me find it.
Because we're gonna go back into some shit that when she said that shit, you just pulled that out the fucking crack of your ass. See, the thought process of men and women are even different. But we'll get to that on the next show because, first of all, women tend to be more auditory learners, when men are more kinesis. So, if we're more tactile learners, if you put boys in an environment where they're tactile learning and their kinesious learning skills can build up, then guess what? The boys would outpass you.
Right,
but go ahead, play it.
David, that all branches of the military review policies that restrict female members' service. The Marine Corps, that means integrating women into the infantry. This summer, several volunteers are the first women to train for the infantry and will join their brothers in arms this fall. But
Not everybody believes this latest step towards equal rights is a good idea, including a female Marine officer who has been on the front line.
If you want to go to equal rights, give us reparations.
Good morning.
Who said that?
Shit, I'm trying to who said that. Yeah, who did?
Good morning. So before we talk about what may happen in the future, help me understand what women are allowed to do right now.
There's numerous support roles that women have right now. There are certain restrictions also, and that's what Congress is kind of mandating that we look into. Fields like infantry or artillery or tanks are areas that females have not been allowed to participate in.
So there was this push in the last couple of years to let women do more, to technically be on the so-called front lines. Do you agree with it?
Well, there's really no front line anymore. This isn't conventional enemy. Females have definitely played a strong role in combat operations in a supporting capacity. My specific concern is opening up infantry for females.
Why?
It's definitely not a cost. The cost definitely outweighs the benefits. It's not going to help the individual, and it's not going to help the institution. We're a warfighting institution, and combat readiness needs to be at the front and foremost when we make decisions like this. And I don't think that this change is going to benefit anybody.
But why not?
But why not? Like, she's upset. Like why isn't this?
Or a misconception outside the Marine Corps that preventing women from taking on these roles possibly restricts our opportunities for promotion. In the Marine Corps, men and women are promoted at the same rate. So the other question then I present is longevity. We're talking about opening up opportunities for females, but my concern that I point out in the article is that there's these gender-specific medical concerns that are going to come with opening these fields that I'm not so sure we've really thought about. And on the backside of that, there's going to be a cost associated with these medical conditions. And are we ready to pay the price for that?
I guess that was my question about why you think that it's a bad idea, because you yourself, I mean, by all regards, you're a very high-achieving woman, not only in life, but in the military. And what you point out in this article is that you went through some of the rigorous training that the men did, and what happened to you?
I've faced a lot of weight loss, muscle atrophy. I also developed polycystic ovarian syndrome, which for me resulted in infertility. It's a type.
Oh, wait. Let me rewind that back. What did you say? Let's go back.
Weight loss, muscle atrophy, and infertility.
I'm going to play that again for you to hear this. This reminds me of that movie G.I. Jane. Remember that?
That fictional bullshit.
Yeah. They did talk about that, but let's continue.
Told you, get out that G.I. Jane wet dream.
I'm going to rewind that, guys, so I want you to listen to this again.
The men did, and what happened to you?
I've faced a lot of weight loss, muscle atrophy. I also developed polycystic ovarian syndrome, which for me resulted in infertility. It's a type of combat environment these days that's very strenuous, and I was only doing a portion of what our infantry brothers do. I'm physically fit, definitely one of the top in the females for physical fitness. However, I degraded. And of course, I understand that every female is going to break down at a different rate, but our male counterparts are breaking down also. And I just think it's an unnecessary risk that we could be taking on.
So let me understand this. If, in fact, women are going to be on these so-called front lines, I know you say they don't really exist anymore, but just for terminology, on the front lines, will it be their own personal choice to be allowed to try it out, or will they just be commanded to do that even if they don't want to?
This will be a blanket assignment. So any female who joins the Marine Corps, private, as an enlisted side, or as a second lieutenant, as an officer, can be told to serve as an infantryman. And she will have to serve in that capacity.
All right, Captain Katie Petronio, a U.S. Marine Corps member of the U.S. Marine Corps, who has written an article, and I imagine you've taken some heat for it, for standing up for what you believe in, but we appreciate you, guest, today.
All right.
See, There's another video I'd like you to play. The last one I sent you. Should women be allowed in the Navy SEALs?
Okay, let me play that.
And this is from a former Navy SEAL. And see, this is the reason why this is going to be a series all week long. This is part 1. Part 2 is going to be tomorrow. The sun will come out tomorrow.
All right, let me play it.
Our next guest on Smarter San Diego TV is one of our favorite guests here. Please welcome back to the show former Navy SEAL Andrew Paul.
AP, what's up, man? Hey, buddy. How you doing? Great. Good to see you. You too. So, big topic today. And we put this out. We did a poll on smartersandiego.com. We'll talk about the results in just a second, Rebecca. But you called me. We talked about this. There was a lot going on in the news. We sat down. We had a chat. And then almost immediately, I mean, within hours of that, big announcement was made that women are going to be allowed to become Navy SEALs. So what we decided to do was just do a poll at smartersandiego.com and say, hey, should women be allowed to become Navy SEALs? And we got a lot of comments. A lot of people are saying a lot of different things. I wanted to bring you on today because you were a Navy SEAL, right? You know a little bit more than the rest of us do about how that organization works, and whether or not this is something that makes sense. So from your perspective, should women be allowed to become Navy SEALs? The short answer is no. It's a mistake. And there's a lot of reasons why it's a mistake. And the issue really right now is it's a political one. Okay, this is not about equality, although it's being flown under the banner of equality for a political end.
All right, remix. It's under what? It's a what type of problem? An issue? Political.
What was that? What was that?
Go back. It's not about equality. Rewind that.
The short answer is no. It's a mistake. And there's a lot of reasons why it's a mistake. And the issue really right now is it's a political one. Okay, this is not about equality, although it's being flown under the banner of equality for a political end. And the question really needs to be, is this going to enhance combat effectiveness? What's this going to really do for the SEAL teams? Does this make sense? My answer is no. And I think if you were to poll the vast majority of Navy SEALs, they also would say no. Okay. There's a handful at the very top whose promotion is tied to politics. Yeah. And so they say yes right now. Gotcha. Now, there were some people who said on social media that, hey, if a woman can pass BUDS, if they can get through, then they should be allowed to become a SEAL. What do you think about that? Well, that sounds like a good idea. It seems innocuous enough. Hey, if they can do all of the same things, why shouldn't they? That's a fair point. But becoming a good Navy SEAL is more than just making it through BUDS. And one of the challenges that I have is that the public sees BUDS, basic underwater demolition, or SEAL teams, SEAL training, as that's what it takes to be a SEAL. That's just one component. And BUDS is not just like the ultimate Tough Mudder or Spartan race, and if you make it through, you're a Navy SEAL. It's way more than that. It's not just making it through. There's lots of guys who make it through, and they're bad SEALs. They're not good teammates. They're not.
Pause it for a second.
And that dynamic is extremely important.
It takes about 6 to 7 months to make it through BUDS. Okay? You're not even considered a Navy SEAL at the BUDS. Then you have to do another 6 months of training for your specialty. Then you do another excessive amount of training if you're a sniper, a diver. Well, they all dive, but when they want to be an expert diver, you got to do all kinds of crazy shit to get into those special operations units. Matter of fact, you're no longer called a sailor in the Navy or a soldier in the military or the Army. You're not even called a Marine or an airman. You're called an operator. Okay? You're in a different classification. You're under some fucking SOCOM, which is Special Forces Command, and you're constantly training. If you're not on a mission, you're training. But I'll let the gentleman continue. Just to give you BUDS itself, you may get the insignia of a SEAL, but you're not even really completed as a SEAL yet till after BUDS.
Isn't Cerulean a Navy SEAL veteran?
No, he's He's worked with them, but he wasn't a SEAL.
I just want to make sure. Let's continue.
So it's not enough just to say, hey, is there a woman tough enough? There very well may be a woman tough enough. Question is that going to enhance the combat effectiveness of a platoon at the combat level?
And you don't think so?
I don't believe so.
Okay. What about, you said it's not about equality. Can you elaborate on that? What you mean?
Sure.
Because I know there's politics involved, obviously. Anything involved with government,
right?
And now the military, politics are involved. But specifically, what do you mean by this isn't an equality issue? Do you have proof of that?
Sure. Well, absolutely. It exists already in the doctrine and the standards that we have today. Secretary of the Navy says, well, if a woman is strong enough to make it through, she should be able to do it. Well, how about this? How about if I'm 50 years old and I'm strong enough to make it through? Should I be able to do it? We have age limitations. So we're going to allow women in, and so we won't discriminate based on gender, but we'll continue to discriminate based on age. That's what he's saying. Unless we can open up to anybody now who's strong enough to make it through. However, it goes deeper than that. We already have inequality standards in the military. Men and women in the military are promoted in part on their physical readiness. So, for example, part of your promotion, part of your rating, and part of your advancement has to do with your physical readiness, how fast you can run, push-ups, sit-ups, pull-ups, things like that. And there's a dissimilar standard. Men have to run 1.5 miles faster than a woman to get the same maximum score, to max out the PRT or the Army, the PFA, things like that. This dissimilar standard exists across the Army, the Navy, the Air Force, the Marine Corps. And so men and women are promoted in part based on physical readiness, and men are held to a higher standard than women. So if we really care about equality, why don't we just start right there with the very basics and make the same physical readiness test for both men and women? I mean, if I really want to be kind of a wimp about it, I can go back and say, well, maybe I missed promotional opportunities because a woman scored higher on the test but did less push-ups than me.
Yeah. Do you think that BUDS or the SEAL training is going to become easier? In other words, are they going to change some of the exercises or some of the standards to make it easier for a woman to potentially become SEAL?
The challenge right now is that nobody believes that the standard won't be lowered.
Nobody thinks that.
Correct. Except for the people at the top who have to answer for their jobs. And they swear that the standards won't be dropped. But nobody within the community believes that the standard is going to be maintained. Who I really feel bad for are those guys.
Pause it.
These young men.
Number one, you know what they found out with those 3 women who crashed Ranger School? That the tests were fraudulent.
What? Oh God, you serious, bro?
Just to get through Ranger School, which is a different branch, which is one of the Army's other special forces besides the Green Berets. And a lot of times you got to remember, see, equality and politics are different. When you have that political aspect put into it, guess what happens? People get killed and people get hurt. Just to prove a point. We're got one woman who can successfully go through. No. Can the 38 now me run as fast as the 18 to 21 year me? Yeah. Fuck no. Is the 18-year-old me as fucking as brute strong as I am now? No. Even within my physical body, there are certain things that changed and they're not equal. So you can imagine competing against a woman, because remember, if you're going to play by equality, like he said, how many women get promoted because she did less? In police departments and fire departments, how many women got the job and had to do less?
Mm-hmm.
Is that fair?
Okay.
But go ahead.
Who are incredible athletes, incredible SEALs, setting the example in the SEAL community and ushering in that next generation of SEALs. The pressure on them to answer for why a woman doesn't make it, I mean, that's who I really feel bad for in this. They are caught right in the crosshairs of this political fight.
Wow. Never even thought about that aspect and that dynamic of it. Rebecca, let's hear from a couple people on social media. We asked the question. We did the poll. Actually, let's talk about the poll results first.
Yes.
Go ahead and give us the results of the poll.
The poll: should women be allowed to become Navy SEALs? 87% of people say no.
87% of people said no. 13% said yes.
Yes. Yep.
We actually threw in a third answer, who cares? And no one said who cares. Right.
It's a big deal.
Even still, so 87% say yes and 13% say no. I would even question, however, let's ask the public what they think. And yet they know nothing about the Navy SEAL teams or what it takes to be an effective combatant, right?
Right.
But anyway.
Yeah, well, that's 87% said no, they shouldn't be allowed to become Navy SEALs. What were some of the comments, Rebecca, that we got?
Well, we have Edward Valencia here. He says no as well. They'll put other SEALs in danger protecting them. Military men are very proud and would do just about anything to help or save a woman.
What do you think about that, Andrew? Is that true? Is that part of the problem that you have with it?
No, I think it just, there's a certain brotherhood, there's a certain dynamic. One of the special traits about the unique aspects of it, anybody who's played a team sport knows when a team is firing on all cylinders, there's a special dynamic amongst team players. And nowhere in my life have I ever seen this epitomized in a greater way than in the SEAL teams. The brotherhood is incredible. And there's a special dynamic. There are things that are said and done behind closed doors in the safe context of a brotherhood that is going to become inappropriate. Now you got to worry about sexual harassment and the way guys act around guys because now we're introducing women. It's going to fracture the dynamic. And that dynamic is one of the most special aspects about the SEAL teams and why they're so effective at accomplishing the mission that they do.
Is that part of your feeling on this? Is that we've already got something that's working here? Where I come from, we say if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Right.
Is that kind of your feeling on it as well?
Absolutely. We have arguably one of the most elite, most effective fighting forces in the history of mankind. Now, I'm not just singling out the SEAL teams here. There are other incredible special forces units in the military as well that are sharing the same plight as the SEAL teams in this particular case. Why are we going to mess with that? One of the arguments is that women don't have the same advancement opportunity because if a man goes to combat and he's in combat and he performs well and he gets a Bronze Star or a Silver Star or a Medal of Honor, in other words, he has the opportunity to die for his country and he comes back a hero, he's then promoted, and that's the guy who's going to make general or admiral or something like that. Women don't have that same opportunity to die for their country or perform in a heroic manner that may allow them to advance in the same way. That's one argument. Okay, so if you really want to do that, then go ahead and why don't you go field an all-female special forces team?
I like that.
Why don't you go create an all-female team?
I like that.
Train, equip them, put all the same resources behind them, access to the same technology and the best of the equipment that our country has to offer, and create a special unit with all women, for example. But why are we going to go mess with this organization that has already proven itself time and time again in battle? Why are we going to mess with that?
Yeah.
Just for the sake of getting somebody's G.I. Jane wet dream.
Make it through BUD/S, you can create a whole new standard, create a whole new purpose, a team that's designed for a certain type of missions.
Right.
You could really do something there that would make a lot of sense, and you would allow a lot more women to be a part of that.
Right.
I really like that as a solution.
I'll tell you what, man, you get all those women together certain times of the year, man, Al Qaeda and ISIS would wish we didn't release those women against them. Might have to cut that part out.
No, I think it's funny. Now, because we're joking, at that point in time. I mean, what we're looking at here is looking at, the dynamic, the difference between men and women. Obviously, there is one. At this point in time, women already play a very important role, don't they, in combat operations of even the SEAL teams?
Right, and maybe the public isn't aware of that, but women actually are already well employed in the SEAL community to the extent that it enhances combat effectiveness. For example, over in Iraq and Afghanistan, where you have a culturally sensitive culture, and we go on target and we detain men and women and we just search them, make sure they don't have weapons or contraband or explosives or other things. We use women to search the other women so that we don't offend the male populace that now,
just like in the police departments,
touching women to search them. So you bring in female detainee handlers. That just makes sense, right? And there are other cases and interviews and situations where women have demonstrated doing a better job than men. So women are already well employed within the SEAL community and other special forces units as well. So to suggest that women are not involved in the SEAL teams or don't have the same kind of opportunity to serve, deploy, and die for their country is simply not true.
Great stuff, Andrew Paul. Thank you so much for coming today and talking about this very controversial topic. I love your idea, and I hope that I hope someone's watching and pays attention to that. That's a really, really good suggestion. Thanks so much for your time. All right, stick around for Smarter San Diego TV, where we guarantee to make you smarter than everyone else.
All right.
So we're gonna do a part 2 of this tomorrow, Chaos. Are you ready?
Yes, it's gonna be interesting how part 2 is gonna play out tomorrow. To let people know, what's tomorrow? Tomorrow's Thursday, I think Zero Ends will do a live stream continuing of part 2, section 2. So if you're not subscribed to the channel, I'll drop the link now. Actually, no. Can I? Let me find it and drop it now for those who want to,
I'm gonna try to open up around 12ish, a little earlier to give more people to watch.
Oh, good.
Because this is very important. Because I want to bring up this notion of equality. When there's nothing in this world equal except you're born and you die. Everything in between is not equal. Sorry. Should you have equal opportunity? Sure. But your opportunity should not overwhelm your effectiveness. And on that note,
Oh, let's see if I'm back. All right, I'm back. Let me find that and drop it here for those. There you go. Drop it 3 times for those who go back to the playback. All right. So, anything else, Mr. Faulkner?
I can't wait till tomorrow because I'm going to bring some facts about the female and male body. We're also going to do a little bit about the learning differences between men and women, especially boys and girls.
Yeah, we learn different. Yes.
And I want to, and I like to put it out there because we're going to bring up the fact that why are women getting more degrees in the Black community than the men? So, be there, be square. Hit that beautiful music, and let's rock off to some good sounding sounds.
You're speaking my language. Hold on, people. I gotta always keep doing this. Let's see. And we call this a night. Thank you again for listening, Black people. To where is it? I'm trying to find it. Are you serious? Oh damn. Sorry about that, guys. All right.
Oh yes, Jabbar. It's gonna be needed. And come back tomorrow. Bring a friend. Tell a couple of your females who think that men and women are equal, because we're gonna debunk all that shit.
Yeah.
Thoroughly.
But anyway, let's go on with the music.
And we are out.